Greetings, all! Today, we'll be examining the uncommon Dark Fire-type Pokemon Houndour and its relatively rare evolution Houndoom, the two collectively known as the Dark Pokémon. Cruel at a young age and more than vicious as adults, the members of the Houndour family are potent canines that can more than use the power of fire and the Dark type to great effect in combat.
Houndour have black hair covering most of their body, save for the orange snout, mouth, and underbelly, with 3 digits on each of their 4 legs and a short tail. There are bone rings around each of their ankles, as well as a pair of them on their backs, used as braces, and they have a plate of the same material on their face and forehead, framing their sharp black ears, fangs, black nose, and brown eyes. Their evolved form, Houndoom, have a similar body form as their pre-evolved form, but with 2 bony rings around each ankle, sharp claws on their feet, and 2 more bone braces on the spine, 3 total on their back and 1 around the base of their neck. Their tail is much longer with an arrow-shaped tip, and their fiery red eyes are framed by a pair of bony horns that curve and rake back towards the rest of their body. In addition to this, these creatures have access to a Mega Evolution, and in this state, the bone in their bodies explodes in size and volume, as while the tail splits into a fork shape and their claws turn red, the rings around their ankles split and their back and front become covered in a thick spiny bone carapace, the orange hair on their face changing shape as their horns bend upwards at 2 points to give them a haunting, terrifying visage. Although Houndour and Houndoom are generally more noted for their impressive Dark-type abilities, they actually don't earn the ability to utilize their first offensive Dark-type move until relatively late in life. Instead, most of their young life is spent utilizing their otherwise underdeveloped combustion organs. Even so, Houndour are potent beasts and are able to utilize their Ember attack at birth to scorch most types of opponents fairly well in battle. In addition, Houndour have one other dangerous trait that can make them a problem in battle even if they can't attack very well: a slightly poisonous bite. Since their combustion organs are underdeveloped, Houndour tend to generate a lot of smoke and toxic fumes whenever they use their Ember attack. Instead of allowing these toxic gases to simply float out of their mouths, however, Houndour let the fumes sit in their jaws for a little while before letting them out, in turn allowing some of the toxic material to bind with their teeth and give them a septic bite that can at least grant them a little retribution against attackers before they can properly utilize an actual bite attack in battle.
Upon evolving into Houndoom, though, these creatures finally gain access to their full array of Dark and Fire-type powers, as well as the ability to learn the Thunderfang attack with a bit of artificial help, instantly becoming devastating contenders on any battlefield.
Aside from being able to strike with powerful moves like Crunch and Foul Play, Houndoom are particularly noted for their devastating Fire-type attacks and, perhaps more importantly, their distinctive Toxic Flame. Like Houndour, Houndoom can allow the toxic gases that build up from failed combustion to sit in their mouths in order to give them a slightly septic bite, but the manipulation of these toxins goes far beyond what their pre-evolved form could ever hope to accomplish. Instead of merely spewing out the rancid smoke that comes from the incomplete combustion, Houndoom inhale the gas back into their combustion chamber and allow it to sit there until needed. When Houndoom become exceptionally angry, they channel their frustration into then churning this gas and infusing it into the walls of their combustion chamber in such a way as to transfer the toxins present in the smoke directly into their flames, in turn making them the only Fire-type Pokemon able to naturally spew poisonous fire and to in turn use it as a nasty way to finish off opponents. In most cases, this does nothing if it strikes an armored enemy. If the flames actually come into contact with soft flesh and leave a burn, however, the toxins in the flame will be infused directly into the singed flesh and will remain there even after the skin heals, constantly inflicting terrible pain until death in some cases. Only the immediate and complete removal of singed flesh can prevent this sort of permanent pain from being inflicted. Aside from this, these beasts are also noted for the capacity to absorb heat readily and inability to sleep properly as a result of a serotonin imbalance, which gives them access to Flash, Fire, and Early Bird as base abilities, while those with extremely menacing natures and appearances can also have Unnerve as a hidden ability. As far as the stats go in the case of Houndoom, while they might look to be quite menacing, these beasts are actually rather frail and do not have a lot in the way of defense and stamina, and even their physical offenses are not quite as brutal as they could be, so they fall short in most of their base stats compared to the averages for a fully evolved Dark and Fire-type Pokemon. However, they do still have plenty of speed on their side and can hit fairly hard with their special attacks, so the base special attack and speed stats are above average for a fully evolved Pokemon of both of their types, giving them at least something to work with even if they're unlikely to last long in a fight. Houndour are naturally pack animals and are almost never seen outside of a group of at least 8 or more members. While they might be young, Houndour are very intelligent and are perfect at coordinating amongst each other to capture small and even large prey. In fact, except for their evolved form, Houndour are considered to be unrivaled among wild Pokemon for their teamwork skills. This surprising ability is due to the fact that Houndour communicate with each other before dawn arrives using cries, howls, and barks generated at abnormal frequencies that are otherwise impossible for anything other than another Houndour or Houndoom to translate.
This trait enables Houndour to loudly yell at their positions when surrounding an enemy without actually giving their position away much at all, in turn ensuring that a single pack can take down even sturdy prey without ever being attacked directly.
However, it is noted that despite their impressive teamwork abilities, Houndour are flawed in that they are unable to actually attack with many powerful moves, and are thus limited to basic surprise and assault tactics when hunting, in turn possibly explaining their unusual rarity in the wild. Regardless, these canines are deceptive beasts, and have taken down even human hunters on more than one occasion, a fact that has led many hunters to use them in place of traditional hunting dogs if they can be afforded, especially since they can be just as loyal and obedient to their owners as Growlithe if they can be properly trained.
As with Houndour, Houndoom are natural pack animals and are effectively unmatched in terms of coordination abilities because their cries are in turn delivered at abnormal frequencies that are indecipherable to creatures outside of their own family.
Moreover, the cries and howls of Houndoom are often considered to be among the most frightening of things one can hear at any time of the day, as it is almost a sure sign that a pack of these beasts will soon appear to ravage any prey they can get their teeth on. Not surprisingly, this has led many people to see their evil cries as a signal from the Grim Reaper himself. Since they are effectively adults, and no longer have to worry so much about limited combat abilities, Houndoom oftentimes bicker amongst themselves and actively fight for both entertainment purposes and for mating rights, food being a non-issue because they always divvy up their prey evenly among all the individuals in a pack. The most highly valued purpose of fighting among the species, however, is actually for the title of Pack Leader. Houndoom take great pride in their abilities and will sacrifice everything they have for the title of Pack Leader, as it not only allows them to lay claim to food reserves before anyone else, but it grants them the same rights during mating season. While it usually doesn't do trainers much good when confronted with multiple Houndoom in the wild, it is fairly easy to tell which Houndoom is the Pack Leader, as their horns will be raked back far more sharply than the others. It is believed that this is due to hormone changes that occur after they apparently become Pack Leader, though a full anatomical explanation has yet to be formed. If the Pack Leader is taken out before any of the others, the chances of the remaining Houndoom stopping what they were doing and initiating fights with one another is quite high, but doing so is also at the risk of facing tremendous retribution from the remaining members as well. Overall, Houndoom are extremely dangerous to approach in the wild and should be avoided at all costs, regardless of a trainer's skill.
It is lastly noted that Houndoom is one of only 46 species of Pokemon known to be capable of undergoing the process of Mega Evolution.
Tightly holding onto a Houndoomanite, Mega Evolution radically changes Houndoom by forcing the growth of massive bony extensions of the skeleton across the chest area and along their spine, as well as considerable growth in their horns and a significant upward twist to their growth direction. The bony material now protruding from these beasts' body is thicker than the rest of their bones and more than capable of resisting direct attack from just about any type of move, especially in regards to physical attacks. Despite the extra mass that this gives Mega Houndoom, the muscles are also more well developed in this form, so they are more than capable of pulling the extra mass with little problem, as they are constantly being massaged by the intense heat that radiates from within their bodies. Unfortunately, this is not completely beneficial to Mega Houndoom, as their internal temperatures have been raised so high by Mega Evolution that it causes their red claws and the tips of their tail to start melting, placing the beast in a near constant state of pain. Moreover, they are able to make much more efficient use of their internal flame sac to practically reduce opponents to ash with their fiery breath in battle, and they tend to be a bit more ferocious than they already are initially. In terms of stats, this mutation within Mega Houndoom slightly increases their base special defense stat, moderately increases their base speed stat, considerably increases their base special attack stat, and critically increases their base defense stat. In turn, Mega Houndoom gained the highest base special attack stat out of all non-legendary Dark-type Pokemon. In addition, the new outgrowth of bone material is different from the rest of the beast's skeleton in that it can absorb and convert thermal energy it picks up from the heat of sunlight, granting these beasts the solar power ability, and in turn, making them a dangerous beast to approach both at night and in the middle of an otherwise sunny, pleasant day.
I normally don't mind dogs and canine Pokemon in general all that much, But Houndour and Houndoom are nasty customers that can be difficult to tame and even harder to work with if they don't see you as a true authority figure. The fact that they don't really gain access to any dark type attacks as juveniles for a while after birth does seem a bit funny given that they are known as the Dark Pokémon, but they are otherwise no laughing matter and should be taken seriously in nearly all situations. Their capacity to use poison to make their attacks both dangerous and capable of leaving lasting, painful scars makes them a hazard to confront in close quarters, and their scorching flames can make them a dire threat from afar, even if Houndoom are the only member of the two that is truly skilled at this. Their tendency to travel in groups makes them a problem in the wild as well, as coming along a lone Houndour or Houndoom is rarely a good sign, for the others of their kind likely are not that far behind. Thankfully, they can be countered readily in some sense in their base forms, as the physical defenses are quite poor, but Mega Houndoom helped to fix this issue and ultimately make them a terrifying force to be reckoned with. If you plan on fighting one of these beasts, be wary about your actions, as a single wrong move can be enough to give them an edge and opportunity to cruelly dispatch their opponents with little warning.
While they might be a bit limited in what they can do early on in battle, the members of the Houndour family can reach an adult state decently fast and make themselves a noble threat if they can get that first hit in against an opponent. It might not take a whole lot to knock them out in a lot of cases, but they can still inflict some wicked damage in the meantime with fire, poison, and anti-positive energy.
Just do yourself a favor and keep these beasts well trained and on a tight leash if you can. They might have powerful offenses on the side and can inflict nasty damage against others, but they will still bite the hand that feeds them if provoked, and can in turn leave a lasting scar that will continue to cause one to writhe in agony for as long as it is left untreated.
Thank you for watching this video. It brings me great joy to be able to speak to you all in the world each and every time we meet like this, to explore the many different facets of both the world of Pokemon as we know it, and the world as we live it, through every adventure we have with Pokemon by our side. If you'd like to, please subscribe, ring the bell and all that jazz to keep yourself updated on content uploads and other materials of the like. You can also follow me on Twitter if you'd like to know right away when something new is uploaded, and my written works, from which most of this is based on, can be found on DeviantArt. Links to both can be found in the description down below. Remember that the world of Pokemon is a place full of wonder and mystery, and you never know what to expect. So, stay vigilant, keep watch, and always be prepared for the unexpected. Until next time, trainers and friends of all sorts, have a wonderful time.